नमस्कार. आयच्या ह्या खाशेल्या हिडोनात तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. आनी आज आमचे अशी गेस्ट आसात, म्हाका दिसता फाटले 2 दीस तृणमूल काँग्रेस आनी काँग्रेस हांच्या युती विशीं बोवाळ चल्ला. ऑफर दितात, ऑफर कुशीक उडयतात. हाजें वास्तव कितें, हाजें सत्य कितें हें आमी आज जाणून घेवपाचो प्रयत्न करतले. कांय दिसां पयलीं तुमी पी चिदंबरम हांचो इंटरव्यू पळयलो आनी आज आमचे बरोबर स्टुडियो भितर आसात तृणमूल काँग्रेसीचे नॅशनल वायस प्रेसिडेंट पवन वर्मा. पवनजी, वेलकम टू द स्टुडियो. Let me start with the most, I think, simple and appropriate question. What happened? What exactly happened as far as Congress and the proposal of alliance is concerned?
I will place before you the facts because I was personally involved in their unfolding. So on 24th December at 1:30 p.m., I, in my capacity as the National Vice President of TMC, met with Mr. Chidambaram after taking a formal appointment where I said I have an urgent proposal to discuss. This is on record because it's a message. Mr. Chidambaram gave me time. I went and met him and I formally proposed to him that in spite of past misgivings, acrimonies or misunderstandings, the TMC would propose an alliance between the Congress and the TMC with a view to strengthening and unifying the opposition space in order to more effectively take on the BJP. It was a concrete proposal given to him. Mr. Chidambaram said to me that a decision in this matter is above him and that he would have to take this matter to quote unquote his leadership. I said fine. Next day, Mr. Chidambaram and I spoke again. He had managed to convey this message, including what he told me subsequently through a note in writing, to his leadership, and according to him, what Mr. Rahul Gandhi said to him, that in this matter the two principals need to talk to each other. Accordingly, the two principals communicated with each other. And from what I know, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi said that I can take a decision in this matter after consulting my senior leadership. As you are aware, Rahul Gandhi was abroad by this time. So I think there was also a need to wait for his return. Subsequently, Mr. Chidambaram and I spoke many times. My point to him was that the window of time is narrow and that we need to take a quick decision. And I understand that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is abroad, but after his return, within a specified time, you must give a response. We never got a response. The ball remained firmly in the Congress court. So when Mr. Chidambaram says that the Congress never received a concrete proposal from the Trinamool Congress, I am surprised. I was a bit surprised. That's why I went public in the matter. Because it was a concrete proposal on which much subsequent concrete action took place. But it appears that the Congress party, somewhat constrained by its narrow vision and personal or individual ambition, and also disproportionately banking on the legacy of its past, fails to see the current imperative, which is the need to strengthen and unify the opposition space.
Mr. Chidambaram, when he was talking to me, he used a very specific phrase. He said there was no firm offer on the table. Now, I believe, to my limited understanding, that firm offer definitely means how many seats are you going to contest, how many seats Congress is going to contest, and so on and so forth. How do you respond to that? He says that, okay, there were kind of indications that we would like to be together, but it was never a firm proposal.
Pramod ji, the firm offer, and Mr. Chidambaram is too seasoned a political leader not to understand this. The firm offer, because of its audacity, was that the TMC and Congress need to align with each other. That was the firm offer. If there was a response of approval in principle, the other details of how that alliance would work out on the ground would be worked out. You don't take a proposal to another party without first getting their concurrence to consider it, because that requires very detailed discussion subsequently on seats, etc. So it was a firm proposal, and no politician will expect that the firm proposal will come with already the seats, etc. decided by one party alone and presented as an option to them. So when we never got the initial concurrence, how could we begin to discuss seats and other factors?
You said in your press conference yesterday also that you met Mr. Chidambaram for the first time on 24th December.
Not for the first time in my life.
In the sense,
by the way,
with the proposal.
At a personal
of course,
level,
not for the first time in your life.
At a personal level, he's a good friend.
Absolutely.
And I have respect for him.
Yeah.
But I believe he should resist from stating an untruth publicly.
I also believe that within couple of days after that meeting, Mr. K.C. Venugopal came on record and said that there is no such proposal. Congress is not even looking at a proposal like this. Congress is not even considering it. Why TMC decided to pursue it further, even after that kind of a rebuttal from a very, very senior Congress functionary?
Because in my communications with Mr. Chidambaram, I was not being told that what Mr. Venugopal has said is the final answer. And I know from other sources, which I don't need to reveal, that the Congress party was still considering it. What Mr. Gundu Rao or Mr. Venugopal had said was part of the spectrum of response, but the final response must be conveyed from one principle to another. Let me put it to you like this. After my concrete proposal, what was the suggestion or the requirement that Mr. Rahul Gandhi or the leadership had? That the principals must talk or communicate on this matter. Am I right? That happened. Now, if you said that I will revert to you after consulting my senior leadership, don't you think it's appropriate for the principal to respond to the principal, or should we wait for tweets from functionaries in the party to give the party's point of view? Either you should have said that we will consider it and you will get a response. Then somebody or general secretary of the party tweets, we would take it as authoritative. It was the Congress party's leader's suggestion that this matter needs to be talked between the two principals.
Are you saying that talks in whatever form it is continued even after that response from Mr. Venugopal?
I am saying that Mr. Chidambaram told me that he is waiting to be officially informed by quote unquote his leadership. He never said to me once, because we spoke several times subsequently, that Mr. Venugopal's tweet is the final answer, because he was the intermediary. He said, I am awaiting a response from my leadership, because he had taken my proposal to them. We kept waiting for that response to come.
Did talks continue after that? Even after Mr. Venugopal's response?
Yes, because Mr. Chidambaram and I spoke and he said that I am awaiting a response from my leadership to the proposal, and when I am informed, I will let you know. That response never came. So instead we had a tweet from a functionary when in a matter where you will appreciate, Pramod ji, the two principals had talked to each other or communicated in requirement with what the Congress wanted. So either you keep it at the level of functionaries. They elevated this concrete proposal to the level of principals, And the response to Mamta ji was that I will come back to you after discussing it with my senior leadership.
Do you think that Congress was deliberately procrastinating, or do you feel there was a kind of a systemic failure in concluding on the talks? Either way.
First of all, as far as systemic failure is concerned, I say this with no desire to deliberately say something against the Congress party, but it takes interminably long in the Congress party to reach a decision, especially when it is time bound. Secondly,
So it was not strategic procrastination.
it could be strategic progression, but I would much rather ascribe it to the fact that the Congress party, even in its own internal party matters, takes much longer to decide than most other more efficiently run parties do. That's the truth of it. And I can give you countless examples, but that is not my
Absolutely.
brief. You know it as well as I do. So decisions are not taken quickly enough or firmly enough and communicated to all concerned. The second reason is far more worrying for me. The second reason for the absence of response is the untenable belief within the Congress leadership that they are somehow ordained to be the only opposition party that matters in the opposition space, and that any other claimants, even as partners in that space, are trespassers. They are trying to enter turf without the permission of the Congress party in a territory which they have no right to. I say to you, I accept this logic, but prove your track record. After 2012, Pramod ji, more than 90% of the elections the Congress party has fought, it has lost. So either you play the role which you have usurped for yourself as the leader of the opposition space, or you accept that against a formidable political opponent like the BJP, the opposition needs to wake up, smell the coffee, and put up a credible, organized, strategic, grassrooted and planned response.
Okay, there are two fundamental grievances that Congress has against the TMC as far as Goa is concerned. Number one, they are saying that you arrived just 3 to 4 months before an election, and then you are trying to grab into their vote share, an anti-BJP or a non-BJP vote share, which makes you trespassers, as you said. Number two, they are saying that at this juncture, you are the ones breaking the anti-BJP space. How do you respond to both this one?
As far as the first point is concerned, either we accept the proposition calmly, without the right of appeal, that in the opposition space, any other claimant to the people's faith and confidence will remain a trespasser so long as the Congress believes that it is the only party which has a right to claim that confidence. We reject that proposal. This is a democracy where parties which believe that they can serve the people, and as far as the TMC was concerned, it considered it its great honor and privilege to be in Goa in Goan colors in order to recreate, rediscover and find again the full potential of Goa. Now, if the Congress ipso facto ab initio believes that any entrant into the space which they claim is by divine
point is you
ordinance.
entered at the last minute.
Yeah, as far as the last minute is concerned, a party feels that if there is a sense of deep fatigue between the two binaries primary binaries in Goa, one is the BJP, one is the Congress. If there is a deep fatigue The problem is the BJP after Mr. Manohar Parrikar is adrift. It is, as far as I am concerned, and in terms of the public assessment, ineffective, corrupt, opportunist. And on the other hand, we had the Congress party which won 17 MLAs and is today left with only 2, with 15 of them joining the BJP. Does the Goan voter have a right to a third alternative, to a fourth alternative, who has only the interests of Goans at heart? I ask you this question. We believe we did. They have the right. And we came with great humility, considering it a great honor and privilege, to make an opening in Goa where we thought that some of the philosophy that TMC brings on the social, economic and political arena, and the deep sense of empathy with the Goan people, would be the right alternative.
But Pavanji, don't you agree that if I am the BJP today, I am the happiest entity? Because we are 3 weeks away from an election and we are seeing two of the major anti-BJP parties from a non-BJP space are right now fighting with each other over what you did with my proposal and how did you respond.
It's a good point. But what the BJP also knows, and that is why the BJP is actually concerned about the entry into the TMC and the aspirations of the TMC to be the more effective pan-Indian opposition. As far as the Congress, so long as the Congress is there, Pramodji, the BJP could not be even happier. They are sitting there assured that in the manner that the Congress has so far demonstrated its ability to take on the BJP, they are secure. Surely you will agree with me that if a current system of opposition functioning is not proving effective, and if we have a dynamic leader in Mamata Banerjee who has just won a resoundingly emphatic victory in West Bengal, and if she has national ambitions in a constructive sense of strengthening the opposition to the BJP, after all, you will agree with me, in a democracy there is place for a robust opposition. Forget a robust opposition. No party can claim eternal power at the center. So you need challengers also. That is the dynamics of a democracy. If the TMC has that aspiration, and from the very beginning the Congress feels that it is a threat to us, in spite of the fact that the TMC has actually made an offer not only for Goa, but for Goa and beyond, for cooperation. Whose fault is it?
The second question that Congress is consistently, the point that Congress is making against the TMC is that you entered Goa and you went on breaking the Congress party. You haven't damaged the BJP, but your primary target has been breaking the Congress leaders from Luisin Falero onwards. The question is, why should Congress trust the TMC now?
I ask you a question. Of the 15 MLAs who left the Congress party, the majority of them joining the BJP, was the TMC responsible? We are a recent entrant into this very vibrant state. People leaving the Congress voluntarily because no one is in politics on a permanent basis, Pramodji, for charitable purposes only. People are in politics to stand for elections, win elections, come to power, see how they can contribute in changing the lives and quality of lives of people. In the Congress party, they are adrift, and it's not about Goa only. Look at the situation in UP. Look at the situation in Bihar. I'm just giving 2 examples, but I can give many more, and you are aware of them. You are such a seasoned observer of Indian politics. So if people wish to voluntarily leave a party if they see a more dynamic option? Is it poaching? The Congress, instead of introspection, instead of looking inwards to see why is it that after so many years of politics in Goa, they don't have a committed cadre with the faith that the Congress party is their instrument to political success. If they cannot do that, then anyone who leaves the Congress, they will ascribe to poaching.
But the question is, with this very recent history, with so much bitterness, why should Congress trust the TMC now?
If we were to be confined permanently with the bitterness of the past, how do we resurrect a strong opposition? I mentioned to you as we spoke about the behavior of the Congress party in the West Bengal elections. It was a very critical election. We had the BJP putting in unlimited resources and polarizing the population entirely on the grounds of hatred, exclusion and bigotry. The Congress was fighting the TMC. Are we bitter? Are we unable to forget? When Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary makes a personal attack on Mamata Banerjee in a very vicious way, are we bitter? But even more importantly, can we overarch this, transcend it, go beyond it? It requires courage of conviction, Pramodji. We made that offer in spite of the bitternesses of the past.
Then the next question is, when TMC arrived in Goa, you wanted to contest all the 40 seats. You are still intending to contest all the 40 seats after what happened with the proposal and talks with the Congress. What changed, Manji, from that stand that we want to contest 40 to let's come together? What changed?
I think it was the assessment, frankly, that partly the opposition vote is being divided. It was an assessment. But if that opposition vote came together, we would be able to not only give a befitting riposte to the BJP, but also perhaps be able to defeat it. So our goal and clarity of goal and its focus is sacrosanct, which is to take on the BJP. At the same time, we have the sufficient maturity, and if I may add, even the larger good of the nation at heart, that we are prepared to show strategic flexibility. Can the Congress claim to doing that? Today in UP, it is fighting separate with the SP. In Bihar, it is now poised against the RJD. In state after state, the Congress, instead of contributing as the single largest opposition party to effective opposition unity, continues to believe that it is alone the torchbearer of the opposition to the BJP, which also you would be willing to accept, were it not for the track record before us.
Now, TMC and MGP want to contest all the 40 seats in spite of, very frankly, it is an assessment within media, it is an assessment, I think, with all the pollsters, that the opposition space is overcrowded right now, completely fragmented also. Now, in spite of that assessment, the TMC is taking a position along with MGP that you are going to contest all the 40 seats. Is it realistic? And secondly, is it practical?
I think parties enter elections with a view to making an impact, of creating the base, of building the groundwork, of actually the honor and the sheer privilege of working for a cause with, in this case, the Goan people. You cannot leave a battle midway. And this is not the last and final election. We hope to do as well as we can do. There are many factors that We have made a mark and impact in Goa. Yes, we will fighting in alliance with the MGP in as many seats as we can. But our aim is not only political power in the first instance in any way possible. It is to come to the Goans here with our local leadership, which is brilliant and dynamic, who are part of the TMC.
Are you also saying that all bets are off right now?
About what?
About the Congress, about the opposition space, about defeating BJP?
Unfortunately, it seems that because of the sclerotic, narrow-minded adamancy of the Congress, the opposition space will remain divided in this election. But let history and posterity record that this will be so in spite of the tremendous courage and maturity with which the TMC sought to unify it in the larger interest of giving a credible and effective battle to the BJP. And if there was one hurdle, one obstacle in achieving that goal, it was the Congress.
With an end result to the effect of advantage BJP.
We will see. The elections are before us and let us see what happens. But I can only tell you that the BJP is also aware that where the TMC has made an effective entry under the leadership of the kind of leader Mamata Banerjee is, that will be a far more worrisome challenge to the BJP than the Congress under its current leadership, not only in Goa, but on a pan-Indian basis.
Sonji, my final question, very from a neutral perspective, do you agree today, looking at the overcrowded opposition space, that it is advantage BJP in Goa?
I said I cannot predict elections. The BJP has a great deal of unpopularity at the grassroots. It has been a winner.
As I have repeatedly said that people might not want BJP in power.
Yes.
It is the opposition parties that are hell-bent on ensuring that they remain so.
Perhaps the BJP may win by default. I'm saying perhaps because elections can't be predicted. But equally, if there is a party that can on the short-term and long-term basis point out to the manifest reasons for the unpopularity of the BJP, that job can be done far more effectively by Mamata Banerjee and the TMC in Goa.
Pavanji, I know you are on a very, very busy schedule. You took out this time, came to our studio.
Let me say
had
what
this
a pleasure
frank
it
chat.
was.
Pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure was mine, sir.